morning, everyone. Over the weekend, we held a command conference among members of the PNP Command Group, directorial staff, directors of the National Support Units, and regional directors. The highlights of my command guidance to the PNP commanders are as follows. Number 1, initiate operations against high-value targets belonging to the top 10 most wanted drug personalities in every jurisdiction. Number 2, maximize use of information and communication technology by going digital. Digital law enforcement ensures faster exchange of information and tactical accuracy on the ground. Number 3, sustain the annual recruitment cycles within the year to fill up vacancies due to attrition and personnel requirements. Number 4, fast-track the construction of another RT-PCR laboratory in Central Visayas. Number 5, advanced training on management of social media platforms of PNP units. And number 6, new normal modes of holding traditional events and ceremonies. In addition, I also echoed the guidance of President Rodrigo R. Duterte for PNP units to seize every opportunity to be on the offensive against illegal drugs. An all-out offensive puts the lives of our PNP personnel at risk, so we must exercise all possible precaution to ensure that they are safe and that no lives are lost. We discussed lengthily the pressing concerns confronting the PNP in relation to the prevailing national health emergency, primarily on healthcare and force protection aspects as we adapt to the new operating environment. Thus, through the initiative of the Directorate for Investigation and Detective Management, we are publishing a revised PNP First Responders Manual under the new normal to emphasize the observance of minimum health standards in a crime scene, modified duty rotation of mobile and beat patrollers, orientation of health safety protocols, and proper use of protective equipment. A similar revised manual for police investigators is also being finalized to better equip our crime investigators with investigative tools and technology that will not only minimize the risk of exposure to COVID-19 virus, but will also enhance capacity to solve and monitor cases, serve court processes, and harmonize the functions of the criminal justice system. The PNP Investigators Handbook in the new normal contains the general principles of investigation and the general investigative procedures, which will serve as an updated go-to guide for all investigators who respond to crime incidents. Law enforcement operations during the 75-day ECQ period and the continuing GCQ have exposed our police personnel to the risk of infection, such that there had been 499 confirmed COVID cases among PNP personnel. But with almost 60% recovery rate posted by the PNP healthcare system, 155 fully recovered personnel have been restored in full duty, fit to work status out of the 288 PNP patients who have been declared cured of the infection. The rest of the recovered PNP patients are just awaiting completion of the required quarantine and monitoring period. Nonetheless, we firmly believe that it is in protecting our own personnel that the PNP is able to protect and serve the Filipino people better. As such, we are formulating police response procedures. Number 1, to ensure the health and safety of our police and the general public. Number 2, to continue investigative and detective services. And number 3, to strengthen and upgrade the PNP's investigative function and capability. Even as some restrictions on mass transportation are eased effective today, the PNP will continue to be vigilant in enforcing the minimum health standards imposed by the IATF on use of face masks, physical distancing, crowding, non-essential travel, and other acts that are inimical to public health. I would like to wrap up by sharing two separate incidents involving PNP personnel yesterday. The PNP honors the bravery of Police Staff Sergeant Renato Castillero of the Regional Drug Enforcement Unit 10, who was shot and wounded by Marcido Gomal, the subject of surveillance and monitoring operations. Gomal shot Castillero 3 times after a spotter that the suspect's group recognized him as a police undercover agent. In contrast, Police Staff Sergeant Charlito Sanchez Tinoy, assigned at the Regional Personnel Holding Accounting Section of Police Regional Office 7, and civilians Jojo Ombos Mainit, Frederick Macalan Los Otros, and Lando Sabanal Talumba were arrested by operatives of IMEC Visayas Field Unit last night in Sudlon, Lahog, Cebu City, while engaged in illegal cockfight or tupada. Just as the PNP is quick to recognize and reward our personnel for their outstanding performance, we are equally swift and decisive in going after hearing attacks. This should therefore serve as a warning to PNP personnel who refuse to toe the line. I am both an officer of the law and an officer of the courts. Rest assured that I will fight cases against you and hold you accountable for your criminal acts. Thank you once again, Mr.
Thank you very much, sir. And the first question will be coming from Sir Dan. Good morning, Sir.
Thank you.
And sir, may nagagad na naman doon sa mga namatay na doon. Dahil sa ngayon, nasa 8 na doon. Sir, kung last na namatay, kailan mo dito namatay, saan po ito siya nakamatay?
COVID?
Sir, sa COVID.
Yeah, I think the last victim came from Cebu. And I think just last week, bringing, I think, our casualty to 8 already. No, the last 3 are all coming from Cebu. The last 3. That's why, if you can, as I have read, we're rushing up our construction and accreditation of our RT-PCR in Cebu. Because there's so much inspection there. As a matter of fact, ang dami. There was one time parang almost 10 coming from Cebu, positive. I think there are 122 positive sa Cebu. Masyado na marami, no? That's why we're putting up our RT-PCR there.
Pero sa ngayon, ano yung ginagawa? Paano yung ginagawa ng individual sa Central Visayas? Paano yung nagsasin mga police for COVID?
This is actually, meron namang siguro through their relations with the accredited facilities, and of course with the help of PILA, they're able to facilitate that the PNP personnel can be tested. And as a matter of fact, ito na nga, lumabas yung napakaraming infection. That's why, kesa unahan kami sa ibang government agencies or ibang testing center, we'd rather put our own.
Sir, yung Saturday, pinag-ubos na from Cebu, yung mga LSI, hindi na pwedeng gano'n on hold dito na yung tawag na. Pero yesterday, dahil sa recommendation ng nila na IATF, ang Talisay ay na-downgrade na siya sa CDC. So, hindi pa pwedeng ulit yung mga LSI na travel to and from Talisay.
Basically kasi pag ECQ talaga we're restricting travel, di ba? Coming from ECQ. And, you know, other local government units talaga magdadalong isip pag galing ECQ, no? Even me, when I visit Mindanao, medyo hesitant sila sa akin. No? But of course, we did test. So kung ganyan, I think ang imposition pa rin is pagaling ECQ, maraming restrictions. Siguro pwedeng papasukin, but there are a lot of requirements that they're going to have.
Sir, nag-operate yung CIDC sa Tagig na hapagis na po na nasa 21 million na worth ng face mask worth. Sir, parang sunod yun yung mga operation ng PGEN laban doon sa mga makikita si Arthur Sir na operate yung Saturday sa parang natin yung mga illegal pharmacy, yung mga Chinese medicine. Sir, ano pa ang mandato mo sa mga
Yes, because among the punitive provisions of the Bayanihan Act, ito yung immediately implementable, executory siya dahil very specific yung provision doon on overpricing and hoarding, profiteering. Very specific yun ang provision. So right away, we can charge them. But nevertheless, pinupush namin ito kasi alam naman natin, ito yung demand, ito yung mataas ang demand sa public, no? Because everybody will be looking for face masks and other protective equipment. And we know some people will really take advantage. Hence, that's why we are intensifying our campaign against this illegal sale of PPEs and property.
Hello po, good morning po. Chief, it's been a week na po since yung Cebu City ay inilagay na po sa enhanced community quarantine. Kamusta po ang security situation doon? And ano po yung mga challenges na kinakaharap ng mga police natin in terms of implementing po yung quarantine guidelines po?
Of course, nakita natin dahil sa infection, yun ang unang challenge. How you're going to manage with the limited resources, human resources that you have, and in addition, with the advent and threat of COVID-19. So it's a very challenging human resource management aspect on the part of the regional director. That's why we sent 100 additional troops coming from Region 6 and Region 8 who are actually there in Cebu. Yung 6, dumating the other day. Nandun sila to help out on kasi diba pag hindi ko kasi kaya i-test, the most that you can do is to quarantine them for 14 days. So paano mo ngayon tatakpan yung 14 days na nagpapahinga? Kaya kailangan may augmentation. And of course, upon the direction of also the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, that's why we sent troops coming from Region 6.
Nasaan na po ba yung mga frontliners natin, especially mga police po na infected?
Yung sa swabbing, it is really upon the discretion of the regional director. Kasi nga una, dapat alamin niya kung saan niya pwede ito i-test. No? Kung meron siyang quota for specific RT-PCR testing center. And then, may isa doon, although hindi naman siya masyado sinasabi nila na hindi talaga conclusive and not accurate. But I think there's a donation there of almost 100,000 RTKs, which we actually used here in Rame during the first few days of ECQ. You can remember, noong mga late of March and April, early of April, we started to use already RTK just for the purpose of segregation. No? Kasi para at least kung yung mga IgM positive, segregate mo na, and then yung IgG, IgM. As a matter of fact, very extensive ang contact tracing namin within the PNP personnel.
Sir, there's a question coming from the Viber, sir. Question from Sir Danny Buster. The PNP was previously tasked to lead the government's contact tracing, but DILG Secretary Anyo recently has said they are set to hire over 50,000 contact tracers as part of the expanded contact tracing effort. What happened to the previous order to the PNP, sir?
Yes, actually, nandun pa din naman, but of course, meron kasing ina-adapt ang IATF, yung safe Philippines ba yun? O stay safe rather. So it is an application na ina-adapt ng IATF, and only through hiring of so many number of contact tracer na pwedeng maging very efficient yung stay safe. That's why nandiyan pa din naman ang Philippine National Police to help, no? But primarily kasi tinask yung local government Department of Interior and Local Government. And then ang alam ko, si Yusek Flores was specifically in charge of that contact tracing mandate of the ARCHIE.
Thank you. Mark, do you have a question? Sir, another question from Alfred, sir, sent by a driver. Policemen serving search warrants or conducting anti-crime operations, specifically anti-drug, anti-illegal pogo, or chupada games are always exposed to virus. What is the PNP doing to ensure that officers involved in these operations will get the full protection they deserve?
Okay, first, PPE. Wala namang ibang ipagpalit talaga sa safety ng operatives natin, but to wear the appropriate PPEs. Basically, face mask, face mask. And then, nandun talaga yung risk, We cannot help it because hindi naman pwedeng atras kami dahil baka may COVID dyan, so hindi kami mag-operate. Yun, kaya nakakatuwa na despite COVID-19, marami tayong accomplishment sa illegal drugs. And nakikita talaga ng tao kung ano yung decisiveness ng PNP to pursue law enforcement. And then second, of course, upon the discussion kunwari ng National Capital Region or ng specific units like CIDG and PIDEC, meron naman kaming RT-PCR, so they are among the priorities. I think binigyan ng 50 slots ata ang NCR every day para kasi sila yung pinaka-proximate dahil sa infection, and then sila yung pinakamalaki dahil they're around almost 26,000.
Sir, update lang sa investigation sa pagkakaroon ng Dr. Casey Gutierrez.
Okay.
Dr. Casey Gutierrez.
Okay. Yung kay Dr. Gutierrez kasi, ang sabi ko nga, I think dahil yung wife ni Dr. Gutierrez is relatively OIC ng NBI. That's why they requested that the NBI will investigate. So I presume it will undertake both administrative and criminal over what happened to Dr. Gutierrez.
Pero sa part ng PNP, anong pagpapasok niya dun sa mga quarantine facilities that you overlook sa natin sa PICC and sa USO?
Okay, primarily ang ginawa natin is that kung ano yung ginagamit natin na decontamination solutions at PICC, which is actually generic based, parang organic. Ito na yung ginagamit natin dun sa ultra. And so far, wala naman tayong nakitang problema dun sa implementation. And of course, since the Office of the Civil Defense is in charge of all of these facilities, nagsasuggest din kami sa kanila. Especially kung sino yung i-hire nila ng mga services, lalo na yung janitorial services. Kasi sila nag-hire doon. So, we actively participate para maiwasan na natin yung mga discussion.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, another question, sir, from Rhea Momogay. Sir,
Sunod, sabihin mo sa kanila, hindi na ako mag-vente, pag hindi sila punta dito.
Sir, from Rhea, paki-elaborate po, sir, yung plan ng PNP na mag-install na at paano ito makakatulong sa law enforcement operation. Ang pagiging digitalization natin, sir, sa SESNAP, paano daw po ito makatulong sa law enforcement operation?
Nakita natin, dahil siguro naka-lockdown na ng tao, so everybody are on their computers and on their gadgets. That's why necessarily, nakita talaga natin na tumaas yung cybercrime-related na crimes. So, cyber-related crimes. That's why the enhancement of the Philippine National Police and going digital is a demand currently now because of the situation na halos lahat fake news, cyberbullying, and all the rest are happening in the cyberspace. That's why in the advent of this, that digitization of the Philippine National Police could actually help because this is what the time calls as of this moment.
Any other questions pa apat na nandito ngayong araw na to? Sir, if not, sir.
4 brave souls.
Sir, last one, sir, from Viber. Sir, na-trace na po na-trace na po ba kung saan galing yung 6 billion shabu na nasamsam sa Batangas at Parañaque? At kung anong bansa nanggaling, since na-mention po ninyo dati na proceedings from other countries po ang pinagmulanan?
Okay. Yes, it's from other countries. It's an importation. It is not locally produced. Pero hanggang doon lang muna tayo. Because drug operation is a continuing and a developing strategy. So, kasi pag sinabi na namin, baka hindi na sila doon galing ng import.
Okay, wala na talaga sa inyo. Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
For this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning.